Hey gamers, today we're going to look at Cover Me. Let's check it out. Set for the game, what you're going to do is shuffle these Cover Me cards, deal out a discard pile until you get one of each hair color. So of course one of these cards will only have a stack of one on there. You're going to give each player a magazine cover that they're going to be working for here, and they're going to place one of them out here and keep the other one on themselves to keep cards that score later on in the game. You're going to shuffle all the red, yellow, and blue cards and make a deck of them here, like I said. Any green, black, and white are not shuffled into the deck yet. They will be later on, and certain other seasons you'll bring them in. You also randomly, at the beginning, deal out two cards here to set the trend or fashion at the time. Here you have the length of a woman's hair and the color of a woman's hair. You have your marker starting at winter and on number 1 on that tracker here. So for instance here, both a brunette and a blonde are very popular, so they go to one spot here, and it looks like medium length hair and short hair is in, so I move those markers up to the one spot. Now, you also have your little runway here, which is really elaborate here. In fact, they have these little crowd dividers here that do nothing but just add, I don't know, ambiance to the game. You also have your little models, some based off the background design of these cards, some based off the color of their dresses. And anyone who's colorblind, they also have little icons there to tell you what is what. So how the game starts is every player is dealt 6 cards, and then they take 3 cards from the discard pile or 1 off the top of the deck. And you're going to have a bunch of cards here, and then you're going to, one at a time, play cards face down here to determine who you want your best cover model to be. Now, I see that blondes and brunettes are in season right now, and short and medium length hair is in season. Now, for the winter and fall sections, you care about the background of the card. And as you see, some of them have diamond backgrounds, plaid backgrounds, and stripe backgrounds as well. But in the spring and summer, they only care about the color of the dress, and that's when you would be looking at the colored dress. But since it's winter, I gotta look at the background design, and since there are 2 stripes, my little striped model here is going to move up 1, 2 down the runway to indicate, hey, that's the most popular thing there, which I really think is it's overdone there with the big stage and everything, but I do like the look of it. Anyway, so I gotta look and see what is in right now. Well, first off, who do I have with striped backgrounds? I have this girl and this girl. Well, since redheads are not in season right now, looks like blondes are, I'm going to play this one. So I'm going to play it face down. And then the other players, whoever they are, they'll place theirs face down. Well, once everyone has placed their card, then we all reveal. And so then I will reveal my fanny. I'm sorry, I just couldn't help that. Anyway, so I reveal this, and they reveal their cards as well. And as I reveal it, blondes with medium length hair will go up. So medium length climbs to the 2, and blondes climbs to 2. But then we see what the other players played. Well, he played short hair and blonde, so blonde goes up again here on the 3 spot, and then short hair goes up. And this person said, well, I'm going to also go with blonde and medium length hair. So blonde goes up again and medium length hair goes up again. Now you want to follow those trends right now, because those are going to give you the most points. Now, as you see, this one played a stripe background as well, so stripe moves up. But this one played a plaid background, which brings our plaid model out on the runway too. And once we've done that, we'll do that for another 2 more rounds until we each have different cards laid out in whatever order. And after that, then we do our scoring. Looking across the board here, we see which one scored the highest. The highest score you can get is a 3, meaning you match the hair color, the most popular length of hair, and the most popular pattern or dress color if we're talking about spring and summer. if you have someone like that, so let's say I have Fanny here. She seems to be really good. She's blonde, which is the most popular. She has medium length hair, which is the most popular, and she has that striped background. So she is a 3. So what I would do is I would take this card and slip it underneath my cover here, because she's going to count for victory points at the end of the game. Now any 1s or 2s I have, I will take back into my hand, but each player will get to choose one. If they're a 1 or a 2, they'll get to choose one of their characters to set the trend for the next round. So they would do something maybe like that, and then you'd readjust all these markers here to match whatever trend you see going on here. And then the rest of the players would put these in their hand, or if they were a perfect 3, they'd put them underneath their cover, their magazine cover, to score later. There is one rare instance where maybe you played 3 cards that didn't score bupkis. I mean, they were all 0. It's basically like shooting the moon in hearts. I've never done it for a 3 or 4 player game. Maybe you can do it for a 5 player game, but if you do manage it, then you get to score. If they're all 0, you get to score all 3 cards and tuck them under your magazine. I can't imagine that happening, but they say it does. Now, at the end of the round, whoever tucked cards or put cards up there are going to draw new cards from the deck. Of course, for the spring, you're adding green cards into the deck, and then black cards in the summer, and then white cards in the fall, even though I thought it was illegal to wear white after Labor Day. Anyway, you're doing 4 rounds from each season before you go into the next one. Now, green and black and white will slowly bleed into those rounds as you'll be drawing cards from the deck, but you'll have these cards, you'll be playing them, you'll be caring about the background color or the dress color, always the length of the hair, always the color of the hair, and after you get to the fall and take 4 rounds, then you add up all your victory points. Adding up victory points is very simple. Any red, yellow, and blue cards would be worth 2 victory points. Green's worth 3, black's worth 4, and white's worth 5, because these are the ones you'll have less to deal with from the very beginning. You'll have all these colors, but white you only have for the last 4 rounds. That's why it's worth a few more points if you can get a perfect 3 out of a white card there. And of course, whoever has the most victory points wins. I should also mention, since I skipped it here, that's just the first player marker. And very briefly, before I move on, any of those 1 and 2 cards you have to put back into your hand that you didn't put up here, or that you didn't score behind your magazine. We do have a house rule that we've come up with that says you can discard those cards and just grab more from the pile. But that is a house rule. That is not a rule in the actual game. Final thoughts. What do I think about the game? Well, you know what? I love this box cover. That's really cool. It looks like a magazine. And actually, it caught my eye a few years ago at BGG SpringCon. I saw it in the library. I was like, shut up. I like the idea of running your own magazine and selecting a cover girl there. I thought that was interesting. But when I showed it to my nephews, I said, hey, you want to play this? They went, no. And so I went a few years forgetting about it, and then I finally saw it for sale, like it was a clearance stuff for like 20 bucks. Usually you see this game for like 40, 50 bucks. And I was like, that's way too much to check out this game. 20 bucks? Hey, well worth it. This is a fun, simple game. One of the things I like about the game is that you can change the trends midway through. Like for instance, I was trying to go for that 000, right? And so I decided to play red long hair, which was not in fashion. Also, it was a diamond cut background or blue dress or whatever. I played everything that was not even popular. Well, someone else had the same idea as me, and so he played 1 too. Suddenly, red, long hair with a diamond background was coming into fashion. And almost immediately the game changed. People started playing their red, because they had red-haired cards too. They said, oh, well, if that's going to be popular, and they made that popular. So my 1 that was going to be a 0 became a 3. And that was in the second round. And I was like, shut up. I mean, so you can change a trend in between. And that is so much like the fashion market today, right? Where something can come in and be different and new, and people kind of sway to that, or people go back to this. So whatever dictates the going trend at the beginning of the, each round, doesn't always necessarily win. You can actually change everyone's opinion, and players will start shifting their strategies too. I really enjoy that about the game. Now, the one thing we didn't like, and none of us liked, we only played it once with the rules. That's why I introduced that house rule in there, because that is a house rule that we play. And most people, I give them a choice. They can take those cards back into their hand and save them, or discard them and grab new cards. 100% of the time, everyone grabs new cards. We just want to see more cards. We want to see variety. We don't want to see the same cards in our hand the entire game, because it is a little bit repetitive going through 4 seasons, 4 rounds each. So getting new cards in there, it kind of shifts things up, keeps things fresh, keeps things new, and I like that. But that's just my house rule. You can play with however you want. You can play the proper way if you want to. But for me, it's actually a pretty interesting game. Like I said, it's something that, you know, my gaming group automatically went for it because they know how crazy themes are for me, and they're like, yeah, let's do this, let's try it out, and they loved it. And of course, my nephews, when I showed them the game again, said, look what I bought. They went, no. But then I forced them to play it, and they enjoyed it. But I do like that. One thing I don't like, I was kind of kidding, but you're not supposed to wear white after Labor Day. Why is white in the fall? All right, I'm going to stop because here I go rambling again. Anyway, I enjoy the game. If you can find it for 20 bucks, it's well worth it. Anything above that price, probably not worth it. But I do enjoy the theme. I think it is unique. All right, gamers, that's all the time I have for now. Until then, game on.